We had arrived at the Fairmont Orchid Resort in Hawaii the previous evening. Although my birthday wasn't for another 4 days, we were very pleased to have a bucket of chilled champagne ready for us on our arrival. We had a garden view queen suite. The bathroom had a very nice marble double sink. The shower was also marble. The entirety of the first day was spent at Hawaii Volcanoes National Park. As we made our way to the car, we saw a nice pair of canaries. We made our way to the visitors center, stopping for breakfast in Hilo. We took the saddle road to get to Hilo. It's called the saddle road because it runs through the valley between Mauna Kea and Mauna Loa. The landscape on either side of the road is otherworldly. And here we are at the entrance to Hawaii Volcanoes National Park. Very exciting. In Hawaiian tradition, Kīlauea and Mauna Loa volcanoes are considered Wahinekapu, or sacred places, and a source of mana, spiritual power. The Caldera of Kīlauea is considered by some to be the home of the Hawaiian volcano deity Wahinekapu. Our first stop was the Visitors Center. The Visitors Center has 3 plaques in front of it. The first plaque honors Stephen Ting Mather, the first director of the National Park Service. He was director from 1917 until 1929. This is one of many plaques which are spread out from Alaska to the Virgin Islands and Maine to Hawaii. They can be found in national parks, monuments, a seashore, parkways, memorials, a preserve, a battlefield, recreation areas, historical parks, historical sites, 3 administrative offices, a couple of state parks, a city park, and 2 schools. The plaque reads, "He laid the foundation of the National Park Service, defining and establishing the policies under which its areas shall be developed and conserved unimpaired for future generations. There will never come an end to the good that he has done." The second plaque recognizes Hawaii Volcanoes National Park as part of the International Network of Biosphere Reserves. The final plaque recognizes that Hawaii Volcanoes National Park has been designated a World Heritage Site. From the Visitors Center, we drove as far counterclockwise as we could down Crater Rim Drive until the road was blocked. The road is closed off due to the collapse of parts of Kīlauea from the eruption of 2018. This spot is called Uēkahuna, a celebrated wahipana, or legendary place of Kūkamāhuākea, the caldera of Kīlauea. It's an important site for Native Hawaiian ritual and cultural practices. Uēkahuna presents visitors with spectacular views of Kūkamāhuākea, Mauna Loa, and surrounding areas from the highest point of the rim. And here we are at Hawaii Volcanoes National Park. Over there in the very distance you can see Mauna Kea with the Keck observatories and everything else. Over here is Mauna Loa. And now we're looking down into the Kīlauea caldera. This is where it was erupting about 2 weeks ago, and you can still see some steam coming out. And that's where, back in the day, you used to be able to drive all the way down into the caldera. There was a parking lot. Crater Rim Drive used to descend into the Kīlauea caldera, and there was a parking lot near the rim. Anyway, this is Kīlauea Caldera. Here's the area where about 2 weeks ago it was erupting. And going over, you can see that it's still venting. Down over here, there used to be a parking lot. I remember when I was here in '72, we drove into the parking lot, but we weren't allowed to get off the bus because of the gases that were currently being done. But a few years ago, there was an eruption in the entire parking lot area got collapsed into the caldera further, and so it's now, the parking lot is now apparently under magma. You can still see steam venting from the recent eruption of September 10th through 16th, 2023. View of the Kīlauea Caldera. I believe that's where you see those black cinder cones. I think those are the ones that just erupted not too long ago.
How deep do you think that is?
The Hawaiian Volcano Observatory used to be located here. Although it's still standing, the area around it is very unstable. This area had only been reopened in 2021 after a 3-year closure due to the eruption of 2018, which devastated much of the area, including the crater rim drive. The observatory building is permanently closed. And here's another view of Caldera. Here's the area where you can see the new cinder cones from the last eruption back. That was September 10th through 17th of this year, just before we got here. This shows the general area of the last eruption. Here is a close-up of the cinder cones from that eruption. Here's a building that is at the edge. Unfortunately, it's all closed down now because the 2018 eruption weakened the structure, and it could be that the whole thing would fall into the crater, or the caldera. There is sparse vegetation present. Our next stop was the Kīlauea Overlook. This is the Kīlauea Overlook that we're at. Hawaiian chants document the eruption of Kīlauea, and science has corroborated these accounts. Hokile rock, which had been blasted out of the caldera, was used to fashion tools. This adze is an example of one such tool, which were used to carve out canoes. This demonstrates the devastation of the 2018 eruption of Kīlauea. You can see the two models of before and after of the caldera to the right. And here we are at the Kīlauea viewpoint. Once again, you can see the area where it erupted just 2 weeks ago. Here are some additional views from the Kīlauea Overlook. We next stopped at the steam vents, or Kūkamāhuākea. Also at this spot was the steaming bluff, known as Wahinekapu.
Here we are at the steam vents.
You can feel hot water vapor as it billows from the ground.
Here's one of the steam vents, too.
This phenomenon is created as groundwater seeps down to rocks heated by magma deep underground. The rocks are so hot that it vaporizes the water, returning it to the surface as steam.
And here's some more steam vents out that way. And this looks like a kind of orchid.
I find it amazing that even with all the devastation that had occurred and how desolate the area looks, nature can still provide the beauty of an orchid.
This is from the vent portion.
Here are two views of the Caldera from Wahinekapu. We then hiked the Sulphur Banks Trail, or Ha'akula-manu.
Okay.
This is the Sulphur Banks.
Yep.
Due to a summit collapse.
On this trail, volcanic gases seep out of the ground along with groundwater steam. Fumes emitted here include sulfur dioxide and hydrogen sulfide. These two gases react chemically to produce pure sulfur, a yellow mineral known to Hawaiians as Kūkamāhuākea, the waste of Pele.
It's kind of cool. Not sure if that's atomic sulfur, just sulfur molecules or atoms, crystals.
So somebody actually that's how the hole got made.
Huh.
That's what this is saying. It was in September 2000, a visitor climbed out, and he broke through the thin crust, and he got severe leg burns.
Can you imagine?
Because it's 205 degrees Fahrenheit right there.
Yep. So you do get sulfur crystals growing. Which you can see right over here.
Here you can clearly see packets of sulfur crystals.
Yep.
This trail was very reminiscent to us of some of the trails we hiked in Yellowstone, both visually and olfactorily.
Some nice sulfur crystals over there.
This pile of rocks used to look like this in 1960.
The venting fumes are rich in carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, and hydrogen sulfide. Sulfuric acid forms, which breaks the lava down to clay.
This particular collapse was caused by someone stepping off the trail and ended up getting severely burned.